Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, quick question for you. Did you know the average person spends about 26 years of their life completely unconscious? It's wild to think about, right? Every single night, billions of people all around the globe close their eyes and enter a state that honestly remains one of life's absolute greatest mysteries. I mean, we spend about a third of our lives sleeping, but what's actually happening when we drift off? Well, today, we're going to explore this great mystery by looking at the spiritual realities of sleep, and we're going to shift our perspective from the purely physical stuff to something deeply profound.
And that brings us to a really fascinating question. What is actually happening in the spirit realm while you sleep? To even begin to answer this, we've got to recognize that you and we are so much more than just complex physical machinery. You possess a soul, and you possess a spirit. So while your physical body shuts down and lies totally unconscious on that mattress, your spiritual dimension doesn't just hit the off switch. It actually remains incredibly active.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the sacred space of sleep, and look beyond the biology.
We really need a massive perspective shift when it comes to our nighttime hours. Today, we tend to view sleep purely as a biological necessity. We think of it as just a time when the body rests, the muscles repair, and the mind kind of recovers from the heavy lifting of the day. But ancient believers, they painted a vastly different picture. They didn't just see the night cycle as a time to power down. No, they viewed it as a spiritual gateway. For them, it was this sacred time and space for divine encounters, a period where the human spirit was fully active and completely receptive.
Moving right along to Section 2, let's explore divine communication in dreams, or what we might call heaven's nightly language.
If the night is a sacred space, well, it makes perfect sense that God uses it as a canvas. Throughout biblical history, God frequently used the state of sleep to deliver some seriously vital messages. Think of Jacob, right? He saw a massive ladder reaching straight into heaven while he was literally sleeping on a stone. Or Joseph, who received these vivid, prophetic dreams that mapped out his entire future. Even looking at the New Testament, Mary's husband received clear, divine instructions through a dream that ended up protecting his whole family. And it wasn't just exclusive to believers either. Even pagan kings were given dreams that reveal future global events. It's just amazing to see how historical and biblical figures consistently used periods of rest as a prime time for receiving profound divine guidance.
But here's the catch. The crucial point is learning how to tell the difference. Because, let's be real, not every dream is a message from above. Ordinary dreams are usually just reflections of your daily experiences. It's your emotions, your lingering stress, and your subconscious concerns just sort of processing themselves. Spiritual dreams, on the other hand, carry a totally different weight. They can act as divine warnings, carry symbolic truths, offer future revelations, or even expose our deeply hidden fears. If you're curious about your own spiritual growth, it is absolutely crucial to use wisdom and discernment here. We have to separate that ordinary subconscious processing from dreams that carry genuine spiritual meaning.
I absolutely love this quote from the ancient prophet Job. He says, "God opens the ears of men during the night and seals instruction upon them." What a beautifully poetic insight. I mean, think about it. Have you ever gone to sleep struggling with a massive problem, only to wake up the very next morning with sudden clarity, a brilliant solution, or just this deep sense of wisdom that you absolutely did not possess the night before? Job suggests this isn't just a happy accident of a well-rested brain. While your conscious mind is resting, God is fully capable of ministering instruction and wisdom straight to your spirit.
Which brings us to Section 3, spiritual renewal and rest, and restoring the exhausted soul.
Because we aren't just receiving instruction at night, we are receiving profound restoration. And here is a huge truth you really need to hear. Sometimes what appears to be a spiritual problem is actually just exhaustion. So many people think rest only affects the physical body, but true rest impacts the soul and the spirit just as heavily. Take the story of the biblical prophet Elijah. After this intense season of pressure, spiritual warfare, and just absolute terror, the guy was ready to give up completely. But God didn't respond to Elijah's intense fear and exhaustion by giving him a harsh sermon. No way. Instead, God provided him with sleep, nourishment, and restorative rest. It's such a great reminder that God deeply understands the connection between our spiritual effectiveness and our physical exhaustion.
Now we also need to look at Section 4, navigating nighttime spiritual warfare and the vulnerability of the night.
We have to address the other side of the coin here. While the night cycle is this beautiful time for spiritual renewal, it is also a period of profound vulnerability.
Jesus actually touched on this in his parable of the wheat and tares. In that story, he points out that an enemy came and sowed harmful weeds in a field, specifically while the people slept. And the lesson here extends way beyond agriculture. It perfectly illustrates how periods of unconscious vulnerability can sometimes become opportunities for spiritual attack. Honestly, this is why many believers occasionally experience unusual fears, oppressive sensations, or highly disturbing dreams during the night.
And because of that nighttime vulnerability, prayer before sleep has been a foundational practice for generations. It really comes down to 3 simple, everyday evening prayer habits. Number 1, consciously commit your mind to God. 2, commit your spirit to God. And 3, commit your physical household to God's protection. It's literally that straightforward. By actively practicing these steps, believers can stay spiritually alert, prayerful, and completely protected, creating this wonderful atmosphere of peace right before they drift off.
Let's move into Section 5, the mirror of the soul, revealing the hidden.
Try thinking of sleep as a mirror. During the day, let's be honest, we are incredibly good at masking our stress. We stay busy, we distract ourselves, we keep moving. But at night, all those defenses drop. Sleep reveals the true hidden condition of the soul. It brings unresolved anxieties, deep emotional wounds, and underlying spiritual struggles bubbling right up to the surface. But here is the big takeaway. Don't be afraid of these nighttime revelations. When sleep exposes those hidden daytime fears, view it as a massive opportunity for healing and growth, rather than something to be terrified of. God uses the quiet of the night to show us exactly what needs our attention.
And finally, Section 6, humble trust in God, the absolute anchor of rest.
Think about this for a second. Every single night, regardless of how wealthy, powerful, or intelligent you are, you have to surrender control. Sleep is a daily biological reminder that we are not God. It teaches profound humility. We literally have to close our eyes, lie down in the dark, and just trust that the entire world is going to keep on spinning without our active management. It is the ultimate daily act of surrender.
And in that surrender, it teaches absolute trust in the one who sustains all things. Think about what is happening while you sleep tonight. You are completely unconscious, yet your heart continues to beat. Your lungs continue to draw in oxygen. Your cells are actively repairing themselves. You aren't doing any of that consciously. You are breathing solely because the Creator sustains your life moment by moment.
And that brings us to the most reassuring theology of all. While you sleep, God's work in your life absolutely does not stop. Just look at what is happening behind the scenes while you are unconscious. God is actively preparing new opportunities for you. He is orchestrating complex circumstances that you can't even see yet. He is providing a shield of protection, releasing spiritual guidance, and tirelessly accomplishing His purposes. The greatest breakthroughs in your life? Yeah, they are often being set up entirely behind the scenes while you are sound asleep.
I want to leave you with this final, incredibly powerful thought. You may close your eyes, but heaven does not. You aren't just engaging in a biological necessity tonight, you are entering a sacred space. You can rest easy, surrendering all control, knowing for sure that God's purposes never sleep. So the next time your head hits the pillow, ask yourself, what might heaven be trying to whisper to you while you sleep? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and sleep well.